One of the things that we think are particularly important is to elevate the voices of the communities that are all too often left out of the conversations about their own lives. We got into this work back in 2008, 2009 with the whole "We Are Not Trash" movement. And what we learned during that process is that oftentimes people who you expect to represent you and to represent your best interests don't always do that. And we were in a situation where the city of Dallas wanted to transform McComas Bluff, which is a fancy word for the city's garbage dump, into the largest garbage dump in the Southwest. The reason that was of particular importance and concern to us is the garbage dump is 2 miles from the community that Paul Quinn resides. And it's a community that historically has been left behind by the city of Dallas. Wonderful people, people who own their homes, who have fought, who have scrapped, who have maintained a standard of life for 30 to 40 years, some 50, and they deserve to have a say-so in what happens in their neighborhood. And what we discovered was that the city intended to make these changes and not tell them at all. Do no impact studies, just allow to whatever happened, happen, because they assumed people weren't paying attention. Well, we were paying attention. And our students stood up, and they fought for not just themselves, but they fought for our community in Highland Hills. And at that moment, we realized that we were gonna have to do more, and we were able to do more. And this and our efforts represents what doing more looks like. We have been very, very fortunate to have someone like Evelyn Mayo, and Evelyn's in the back. Wave, Evelyn. Oh, you guys can give Evelyn a better hand than that. We actually like Evelyn, all right? Evelyn is one of the foremost experts on this issue in this area. And she has done amazing work. Last year, I guess it's a year and a half ago now, we published a list on the top polluters in DFW. And we didn't do that because we wanted them to be praised. That's not a list you want to be on, all right? We did that because people need to know who the bad actors are in their communities. And they need to have the light shining on them so that people know to put pressure on them. Also, we are people who believe in continuously showing up. So one of the ways that you're going to hear about today and how we are showing up is over this highway issue. And the next panel we have coming up, highway robbery, money, miles, and minutes. And what this is really about is a conversation about what are we going to do with 45, I-45. Now, as is often done in under-resourced and underprivileged communities, or as how people like to refer to them, things are discounted. I-45 is effectively the same highway as I-75, right? It's just when you come south of downtown, it changes its name. I-45 is the lifeblood connecting our part of the city to the rest of Dallas and to downtown. And there's a conversation going on right now about tearing down that highway. And the question you have to ask yourselves is, what happens when that highway is torn down? To fully appreciate everything involved in that, you have to understand why the highway was built in the first place. The neighborhoods that were destroyed so the highway could be built. What the highway cut off. All of these are things that are incredibly important to understand. So today, we're going to have some of those conversations about the history, but more importantly about the future, and about who gets to say what the future looks like. The days of communities being left out of critical decisions that are important to them, those are over. And they are especially going to be over when Paul Quinn College has an opportunity to say something about it. We recognize that there is power in small communities. I'd rather be part of a small community where people stand up and speak up than part of a large community where people lay down. We are proud of the Highland Hills community. We are proud of the Paul Quinn community. But most of all, we are proud of all of you who are sitting there today because you showed up. And our students at Paul Quinn learned the first rule of leadership is showing up. I saw that. I saw your eyes roll on that one, all right? The second rule is showing up prepared. Today, it's about showing up, but we're preparing to show up prepared. So with that, I'm gonna step down, and Evelyn, do you wanna come up? Let's give Evelyn a big round of applause. And thank you for all of your hard work.
Thank you, Prez. So we have 3 exciting panels today. And between now and our first panel, which will have Jerry Hawkins and Amber Sims talking about the history, we're gonna have a student poet from Paul Quinn share a poem about this topic, environmental justice, highways. And so I'd like to welcome them to the stage at this point.
So this is called generational wealth, and it's just about, getting yourself together in your community. There's no one way on how to be wealthy. You have to plant seeds in a garden that you won't see, speaking up for yourself in rooms where no one else believes. You have to build yourself and then go back to your roots and then tell them what it takes to get where it takes where you are. Helping those who cannot help themselves and helping them see. Ever evolving like our history. See, you have true power that you have to invest in, believing in we over me. You can't just say you are for the people. You have to believe. You have to plant the trees and water into our youth. You have to leave it in the sun and then let it grow, hoping that one day it'll grow up and be just like you. When it's all said and done, you have to invest in all your energy into your community, hoping that one day they'll be just like you.
Hi, my name is Madison Stafford. I attend Paul Quinn. I am a college freshman. My major is elementary education, and I'll be reading an original poem called Dear Society. Dear Society, humane society, who's the blame for riots when freedom's forgotten? Resting lullabies sung daily for the souls taken by authority, fetal destinations ordered by laws even when life could be taken otherwise. History repeated by darkened beings jailed for blamely existing. Standards made for justice rooted in a corrupted country, souls chained to its whitewashed folklore. So again, inhumane society, who's the blame for the lies when the screams of minorities bleed for the pedestals of the masses? Pyramid schemes, so-called climbing the corporate ladder, slaving long hours for a title, while society's status equals privilege, only when the color of your skin matches the paper you sign for the mortgage. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. That was so beautiful and really set the tone for what we're hoping to accomplish today. The next panel will be Jerry Hawkins and Amber Sims.